Hello Cancer, happy holidays. This is your December forecast for 2017. This month we do have Mercury retrograde, and that's something we want to bear in mind, especially when we're going to be doing our Christmas shopping, right? We don't want to end up getting these funky things that might have to go back and be returned, right, due to whatever might be wrong with them, especially anything of mechanical things that has moving parts and so forth. Mercury tends to mess that up under a retrograde. December 3rd to December 22nd. So we got those weeks. But what is good about Mercury retrograde is meeting people from the past that you haven't seen for a long time. Maybe it's family, maybe it's friends and so forth. So it's always a nice time to kind of reconnect to the past, in which is glorious now in the holiday season, right? The only thing also we want to be aware of is trying to not sign any contracts, start anything new, because why then the signature of it in the future might reverse itself. But the only exception to that is if you've been working on a project or with somebody, or say you're looking for a new job and you're reconnecting with an old company, well then that's good. It is from the past. It's just new things that we want to kind of keep a little aside until after the 22nd. Actually, from top of the year is even better. We have Venus that's changing signs just as we enter it on the 1st. Venus has been cruising in Scorpio and for that of November. So you might have felt that you've been processing deeper your emotions, connecting to them, to the inner core, which has been really awesome for you. And that Venus has been in your 5th house. And so it's been time for joy, for play, self-expression, creativity, maybe more time with your loved one or also your children. So now as Venus is moving into the 6th house, December 1st, Venus is going to be looking to your day-to-day routine, how you can become more efficient and so forth. And Venus is going to be definitely joining a crowd. This is where you have your little stellium going on in December, where we have the Sun, we got Mercury, we got the new moon, we got Saturn. So bringing Venus to this little party this month is all going to be focused, and I say focused, on what you're doing to your body, how you are treating it, what you're eating, diets and so forth. It's a health area in your chart, but it also rules work. We're not saying career necessarily though, Cancer, but work. How do you work? Do you work too long hours, or do you want more work? What is too much, too little? How can you adjust your schedules? It's interacting with coworkers. So I am sure that you Cancerians are going to be invited to a lot of parties, office parties and so forth, because there's such a crowd going on. Mars though has been in Libra and will be in Libra until, let me see, it's moving December 9th. Then it will be moving into Scorpio, where Venus just was. So as long as it's in Libra, you have been balancing your energies, Mars being your focal goal, your physical drive and energy. So you've been going a little back and forth, especially on home-related projects. Maybe you've had a lot of things that you wanted to upgrade or renew or clean out, right? So that's always a good thing, annually cleaning out the garage and so forth. But now after December 9th, when Mars moves into Scorpio, it's the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So Mars is really comfortable here. It is a sister sign of yours, Cancer. So you're going to really thrive with this Mars here. 5th house is all about self-expression. It's creativity. It's you bringing up those things, excuse me, that you love and desire to do. It's more interaction with romantic partner or partners. It's also your children. Now, what is in your 5th house now from October was when Jupiter entered into this area. Jupiter will be in your 5th house for a full year. Now that Mars is coming in, Mars is going to be infusing that Jupiter to move, to create, to open up. And Jupiter is so beautiful right now, Cancer. Why? It's 11 degrees, and this is where your Neptune is in Pisces, also your sister sign. So when Jupiter opens up everything grand, right? Think about the size of Jupiter. Neptune being your vision, your intuition, your foresight, your dreams, and so forth, everything that's idealistic. When Jupiter and Neptune opens up like this, I am sure that most of you, maybe not all of you, most of you Cancerians are going to be looking at the long-term path of your future. What it is you're hoping to acquire. Not saying it's going to have to be acquired this month. It could be 6 months down the road. It could be a year down the road. It's all about those long-term visions where you see yourself in the most Neptunian, idealistic way. So if that is career and you want to see yourself climb, go for it. That should be your vision. If you, in your long-term vision, is hoping for a move, to a beautiful place that's more spacious, good for it. Go for it. The ninth house, Neptune, is all about long-distance travel, foreign country, maybe, or countries. Sorry, Jupiter loves travel too. So maybe you're planning, hoping, dreaming about going to the Easter Islands, to Egypt, or whatever, the Forbidden City. Don't allow your circumstances per today to limit you. If you're thinking you don't have the money for it, don't have the funds, don't think that. It's all about seeing it here first, because only then can we allow the universe to come in and help materialize it. You don't even have to think where that money is going to come from. The universe will provide it, as long as you become the magnet, the source of pulling this vision into your presence. This is what Jupiter is doing now. Now, the fifth house is also artistic talents. That comes in under self-expressions. The creative Cancerians among you might just find that this door suddenly flings open and here comes all your color splashes. Suddenly, maybe now you're painting. Maybe you're sculpting. You've been thinking about this, but never found time to actually explore and dive in. Well, think about Neptune in ninth house. It's also about education. I'm sure many of you might just throw yourself onto a course, start exploring what it can do for you. So you'll just have to see how this is going to work. So this month we have interesting setups. Okay, we have Mercury retrograde, right? Under this new moon, which is taking place at on 18th of December, 26 degrees in Sagittarius, we will have the new moon conjuncting Mercury retrograde and Saturn. So, what does that mean? It's happening in your sixth house. Allergies today. Sixth house for health. It's also for your day-to-day routines, how you want to become a little bit more efficient. Maybe because Jupiter and Neptune now, they're wanting to expand, and once you're focused, maybe dive into your hobbies. It doesn't have to be painting and sculpting, of course, but your hobbies, you're wanting more time for it. So you're looking over here how your routine is eating away maybe a lot of hours from your day just by routine, pre-programmed, autopiloted things that you might just yank out, so you can have more room to do those things that you want to do. So this new moon's intention should be to yourself that you want to create more space, more time. So time is a major thing here, and I feel you can really benefit from this, not just in the oncoming month, but in the next 12 months until the new moon gives you a new power kick. But let me tell you, next year, when the new moon comes back to this area, it is not going to be meeting up with Saturn. Saturn always thinks of for you in the long run, the longevity of your decisions and desires, right? So whatever you're changing now can have, a change for multiple years into the future. So it's a really powerful, powerful new moon, especially when it comes to decisions being made on your health as well. The full moon, on the other hand, is taking place 11 degrees in Gemini, Cancer. For you, that is the 12th house. So that's the area that's going to be illuminated. 12th house being our subconsciousness. It's where we pull back and just feel like we have a need to be a little quiet so we can be listening to our higher selves. When it's too busy, always people around, the radio is blasting. We don't really have the peace to listen to the whispers, that higher calling. This is what the 12th house is all about. It's that psychic energy. It's that channel to the universe. The full moon here might just leave you feeling like you need to pull back, have a little time for yourself, which is important, I think, to all of us, that we can't take that time off. It's where we renew our batteries, right? Now, we have beautiful aspects this month. We got a lot of changes. There's a lot of communication coming in. No kidding. It is the holiday season. Running around, doing errands. Mercury is very present here in the transits for December. But starting off with that Jupiter-Neptune trine. As mentioned, 5th house, 9th house, long distance travel, journeying, going back to school, taking on a course, expanding one's vision, maybe even to the point where you may not want to go to learn something. Maybe some of you are actually thinking now it's time to go out and teach those things that you have expertise in. So maybe you'll be looking towards groups and so forth, and who you could bring into the picture. Like I said, you don't have to start right away, but just downloading that thought, that vision. This is setting you up for the future. And you know you do have Uranus in the 10th house for career, right? So a lot of you have been undergoing changes in your career. Some of you are still looking for, ooh, I want to do something different. What could that be? I really want to change up the game. Been working a couple of decades in this or that field, right? Where do I go? Now, Uranus is about to complete its journey, not quite yet, but now in 2018. And it's moving from your career house into the 11th house for not just hopes and dreams, but for groups and organizations and so forth. So I'm thinking, for those of you wanting to start to create a course, to start teaching, sharing your expertise, I am sure that this is what Uranus is going to surprise you with next year when it gets into the 11th house for groups and organizations. So that might just spark up something. Uranus rules technology, and so of course then I'm thinking online, right, where you can meet a lot of your audience. Just wanted to mention that now. So December 2nd is really good for paying attention to where your mind is going and trying to open up for. On the 6th we have communication with, it could be a supervisor, it could be a boss, it could be with a parent, somebody who represents something of security. And I feel that you yourself are in a place where you know what you want, and it's a great time for you to actually express it. So if you're having an annual review, for example, this would be a great day for you to actually say where you see yourself. Remember Jupiter and Neptune, the expansion of vision in the future. It would be a great time for you to express yourself where you see yourself growing, for a possible promotion, you know, so you're not asking for it now, but you're expressing where you see yourself in your career. And Mars is really going to give you a lot of good oomph and push to do this, because Mercury is also sextile Mars. And on the 6th, we still have Mars in the sign of Libra, so you're balancing, you're negotiating the foundation of your life and what it is you want. Mercury and Saturn is in the area of work, right? So make the best and the most of those energies on the 6th. Now there's some unexpected news coming your way on the 10th. This is coming from Uranus. Uranus is in the sign of Aries in your career house. And so you could, maybe it's feedback from whatever you were speaking about on the 6th. The 10th might just open up a new door, possibility, or whatnot, opportunity. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for it. A little misunderstanding, a little bit maybe later in the day. It's Venus and Neptune, they're square. So there could be a setback, there could be a delay. Say you have, for example, a good example for this would be that you have a date to go meet up. And not saying that you're going to be stood up, right? But there could be a delay. Maybe something else is happening and you might have to agree to have a rain check. Something like this, because I'm seeing how the expectation is like this, and then the little disappointment of it, but it's not deep. I see communication is really good around you. If you have to delay, so be it. Remember now that Mercury is also retrograde and doing its tricks, right? So we have the Sun conjuncting Mercury retrograde on the 12th. Of course, in your 6th house, so that might be a day that could be a little awesome to pay attention to see exactly what the retrograde will do to you personally, since your Sun of all signs are connected to it, infused in a conjunction. Then on the 15th, I feel there is some romantic energy, communication going on, new agreements coming in as far as that goes. And some of you might even be meeting up with someone you haven't seen for a long time, or somebody reaching out from your past. In that sense, well, you know, this could all be very, very good. Some of it could even be healing for that matter. Since it is retrograde, sometimes people don't get closure on certain things. I'm not talking necessarily just romantic relationships. It could be anything. An old disagreement or fallout might come in, and then here we kiss and make up and let it go and move on. And this is how we overcome, of course, a lot of karma. It's heartfelt though. Venus is really in a place where it's feeling good about what is going on, and I think it's just one of those cosmic timings where things can come to the forefront. On the 16th, we have the Sun and Uranus, another surprise coming in career-wise. Okay, so you heard something there. When was that? On the 10th? Here we are nearly a week later, and maybe something is being initiated, or at least discussed, or maybe there's a green light. For those of you who have been job hunting, having had your applications out prior to Mercury going retrograde, you might just get good news now that you might be hired. Some wonderful opportunity. It could even be, you know, a year's end bonus coming in. Perhaps also there is office parties taking place, because I really see you interacting a lot with your coworkers here in December with that whole stellium, that party going on in that area. On the 20th, it's all lined up for love, romance, unexpected things. I feel there could be not just messages, but a sharing, heart to heart, between you and your loved one. Some of this might even come a little surprising to you, or maybe it's you wanting to surprise your loved one. I feel it's a gift from Spirit. I feel it's a spark to initiate something new and more. We do have Venus kind of lining things up to when it moves into your 7th house for long-term relationship there on Christmas Day on the 25th. So whatever is taking place prior to the 25th, this is now prompting it. It's like laying the grounds for so much more that's going to be experienced romantically after the 25th and throughout the rest of this year. So on the 21st, the Sun and Saturn are conjunct, just like Mercury had that interaction with on the 6th. So I feel that whatever could have been discussed early in the month is now coming forward, and you opening up this door, moving forward alongside with it, feeling really, really good about it. Now, Venus is also going to be conjuncting Saturn on the 25th on Christmas Day. So I feel that since all of this is going on in your 6th house, you Cancerians of all the zodiac have really focused on your details of how you want this Christmas to be this year. All right, the 6th house ruled by Virgo is all good about organizing, getting your ducks in a row and so forth, and you started early, so already I feel by the 20th you're already set to go, you feel good, so there's no last minute stress, so you can just open up, enjoy, and whatnot. So it's going to be a fantastic, beautiful Christmas for you and your family. Now to end off the month, we have Mars now coming into that beautiful golden trine to Neptune. We started off this reading with Jupiter being there, right? The expansion of your vision, your long-term vision of those things that you would just love to achieve. Now Mars is starting to put oomph behind it. Jupiter is not too far away, so it's still kind of there beaming towards Neptune. So these two together, and especially Mars now, you are focusing on New Year's Eve, not just for the celebration, but you are definitely in a good mode, gotta tell you. But New Year's Eve is all about setting the intention for the entire upcoming year. You are going to start off this year beautifully with holding that vision in mind. So I'm so excited here, Cancer, to see what 2018 is going to bring for you. So I will be back soon.